Okay, so we went ahead and put all the letters where they belong, changed the color. So it might be hard to read, but it says teachers have a chance to mold someone. And I opted to, instead of writing someone spell it all out, I used the number 1 in place of the word one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to blank out the letters. But real quick, before we do, if you had an experience where you were trying to select a letter, I'm just going to do it real quick, far away. We're selecting the letter N, and we went to layer via copy, like you were informed to do. Sometimes what happens is it says you can't make a layer from the selection because no pixels are selected. That just means that there are no pixels selected. That's because you're not in the background layer. It's selecting whatever's in layer 1. So let's make all the other ones disappear. So yeah, we're trying to select this area from this letter A. So yeah, no pixels were selected. So it's just very important that you make sure that you have the right layer selected. Make sure you have the background layer selected whenever you're layer via copying. We're going to flatten this image. Should be flattening often, saving it often. So now what we're going to do is we're going to blank out the letters that we don't need. So we're going to start off with the first one, which would be the letter E. So we're going to do the similar process where we're going ahead and selecting the section that we're going to blank out. Now notice when I selected it, I'm not selecting the whole tile, just the inside the beveled edge, this darkened area over here. Just selected the inside. Now we can go ahead, if we used a brush and we selected a specific color brush for this process, and we go ahead and put it on here. The problem is that the color, well, first of all, it's wrong, but the color is just too flat. There's no variation of any color. So we're not going to go ahead and use the brush tool. We're going to use a new tool, new to us, called the Clone Stamp Tool. And the Clone Stamp Tool is, let me go back. The Clone Stamp Tool is a tool in which it will sample a section of your picture. Okay, so you're going to use the Clone Stamp Tool, which is right here, and the shortcut is S. And we're going to first of all select an area. Just like this, as I did before. Now the Clone Stamp Tool works a lot like a brush. This is the thickness, and you can see here's a sample of the brush. And you can go manually and select a thinner brush, but an easier way is to use the brackets next to the P. The one directly to the P to the left makes it smaller, to the right makes it bigger on your keyboard. So I'm going to select a specific area, about right there, nothing with any highlights or anything. Also, we're going to unclick Aligned. We don't want this selection to follow us around. We want the selection to stay right here. Now to select it, we're going to hold down the Alt Option button. Looks like a crosshair. I'm going to click. Now you can see that this is the sample that I have. Okay, I'm bringing it outside so you can really see it. So anywhere I click, it is covering that area. So you want to kind of dab it on like almost like sponge painting, where you don't want to go back and forth in a specific area. You want to just kind of make it look a little bit modeled. Now if you have a bigger area that you want to select, you can make the selection bigger. You can hold down the Alt button again and select a bigger area, and it'll go a little bit faster. And notice I'm kind of randomly going around. It works out really, really well that way. In different areas until it looks the way that you want. Okay? And then all you do is you hit the Escape button to get rid of the marching ants, and that's a done deal. Okay? So again, you're going to be selecting the inside with the selection, the polygonal lasso tool, and then you're going to use the Clone Stamp Tool to select a certain section, and you're going to replicate it over there so it still has that sort of texture, that modeled sort of look, as opposed to it looking too flat. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that to each letter.